Hey, what's up, rock stars? It's Rox coming to you today with a review for Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 15, episode 5. So let's get to it, shall we? All right, you guys. So this episode, we get a preview at the beginning, and it shows the history of Kandi and Marlo's relationship. They brought Marlo onto the show back in 2011, and her and Kandi were cordial with each other. They were considered each other friends and all. But you guys know over the years they've had many run-ins up against each other, and most of the time it's because Marlo is the one that's bringing it to Kandi. Kandi doesn't necessarily have a problem with Marlo. Marlo has the problem with Kandi. Well, now Kandi has a problem with Marlo. But it didn't start out that way. We know these last couple of years, ever since Marlo got her peach, actually, Marlo has had a hard-on for Kandi. And she will continue to maintain that Kandi gets preferential treatment. What Marlo doesn't seem to understand is people usually are nicer to folks that they like, people that are likable. Marlo has made herself very unlikable. Therefore, people are not as nice to Marlo. Okay, we'll talk about it as we get further in, but yeah, that's how the show started. They just showed the history, showed over the years the different spats and confrontations that they've had, and they brought them up to 2023. Even at one time, Kandi thought that Marlo was misunderstood and that she was a really sweet person with a good heart. But of course, you know that Kandi and Marlo are pretty much done now. Now, speaking of Marlo is meeting with her management team. Remember, she has that husband and wife that help her manage her career as well as her life with her young nephews. She calls them her village. Not only do they manage her career, but they're like therapists to her. They also help with the family and all. So she loves them to death. Apparently, they're going to be hooking Marlo up with a man. She says that she is ready to date. However, her focus has always been her nephews. Well, that's fine. I mean, you can still have adult time away from your nephews, and they can still be the primary focus of your life at the time. It's okay. Now, I don't know how they started talking about Drew, but they got into the conversation about the altercation, not even an altercation, about the argument that Drew and Marlo had that night when Marlo was trying to explain to her that Kandi did not seem to care about the fact that her nephew, who used to work at OLG, was shot and killed. She didn't like the fact that when Drew said, about Kandi's incident at Blaze, and Marlo was like, the fact that she was using synonyms and then instead of just coming right out and saying that he was shot, Marlo has a problem with that. That's exactly what she means. Nobody wants to hear about Kandi's dirt. She's telling her cousin that she needs Kandi to be held accountable. I don't know what she wants Kandi to be held accountable for. And then I was confused about the footage that they showed that we didn't get to see before when Marlo was explaining to Kandi what happened to her nephew. Apparently that happened when her and Kandi was not even really the most friendly, and so I don't know. The whole thing is just ridiculous. Kandi doesn't owe Marlo anything or the nephew. Unfortunately, the young man was killed, and that's very sad and all, but Kandi is not buying. I mean, if she's going to be buying flowers and doing all that for every single one of her, something happened to all the employees that's worked for her, she don't even have a relationship with them. Marlo seems to think because she was between Marlo and between Kandi and this young man, that Kandi was supposed to do it just because of Marlo. Kandi halfway don't like you, Marlo. Even at that time, she really don't like you now, but at that time, she really didn't like you. So it was just sort of like, what is she accountable for? She feels like Kandi is untouchable. Like I said at the beginning of the video, people probably might give Kandi some breaks, or anybody on the show that they like. If they don't like, this is just a regular life lesson. If people like you, people are more willing to be more understanding with you, more patient with you, try to hear your side. People want to, see how they can make things better and all of that. If they don't like you, then nobody is really trying to be nice to you. Okay? And so right now, I think that Marlo is doing a disservice to her own image and brand, because you don't have a legitimate beef with Kandi. You are just mad at the fact that you so fucked up that everybody don't like you, and Candy's a good girl, so everybody likes Kandi. That's what it boils down to. So, you know, she was upset, of course. I mean, she's always upset with Kandi, but she was mad at Drew because Drew was using words like, you know, incident instead of just flat out shooting. And the whole time that Marlo is talking to her management team, you know, they're basically yes men at this point. You know, they are just whatever she's saying, they're going along with, when really they need to just be telling Marlo that, Marlo, you and Kandi don't even get along. You really expected her to cater? She was like, she should be catering his repast, and she should be doing this, and don't tell me what to do with my money or my time. Okay? Yeah, I don't know what Marlo is. But it's tiring, isn't it? Then Marlo gonna say that she didn't realize that she was still so upset about this. You mean you didn't realize that you had this storyline in your back pocket and you forgot to bring it up last season, so you brought it up this season? Oh, that's what you meant, huh? Something else to be mad at Kandi about. But, nigga, I'm so over Marlo. Now let's jump on over to Sonya. So Sonya's at home with her sister, her mother, and Ducey, and little her sister's little kids. And you know, she's there. Her sister's in better spirits today. Of course, the sister said that she still was quite shocked when Sonya told her that Ross was ready for them to go. And the sister was just like, I mean, I don't understand why he wants us to go. I mean, it's been a well-oiled machine over here, and actually the fact that we are all here helps you guys. So the fact that he wants, and I was like, I mean, I can understand what the sister is saying, but I understand what Ross is saying too. You know, a man wants his own house. You know, you got 3 kings up in there, between the husband, Ross, and the daddy. Okay, who's running this fucking ship? You know, and then Sonya, her mother, her sister, and then all these kids. Like, I mean, I understand why Ross would want them to go. But Sonya was just like, yeah, you're right, that it does work that you guys are here. Like, Sonya can go out to a job, she can go out of town, and she knows that Deuce is there with somebody that she trusts, her family member. She ain't got to be doing babysitting and all that. He's still home, all that, you know. So it works well. So the sister was like, I mean, you guys shooting yourself in your own foot if you go and get rid of us. You know, the mom was just like, I mean, I guess it always comes a time when it's time to go. You know, the mom is more like, I mean, if we got to do it, we got to do it. Sonya says that she's going to talk to Ross because she doesn't really want them to go either. My whole thing was, you shouldn't have said anything to them until you knew for a fact that you and Ross were on the same page. Why would you even tell your sister and them that? But then you now, well, you know what? Let me see if I can get you guys to stay. What are we playing? Good cop, bad cop here? Like, what's working here? So Sonya's saying that Ross didn't look at the logistics and really just kind of look at the big picture and realize that them moving was going to be kind of harmful for the dynamics in the household. You know, her and Ross needed to talk about it more. Now the sister got a fucking attitude. The mama's just like, whatever. Sonya don't really want him to go, but I guess she's trying to hold on to her husband, or I mean, not hold on to him, but trying to honor what he wants and all, but she really wants them to stay, you know. Sister was just like, I mean, we'll go if we have to, but I mean, it surely ain't gonna help y'all. Now, next up, we see Kenya. Kenya is at a location. Apparently, Kenya is now making, she's gonna have Kenya Moore Hair Spa. And it's going to be a grand spa experience, okay? 6 stations. She's going to have it all fancy. She's gonna have lighting. She's gonna have a bar over there. It's just going to be fabulous. She's been really busy with this, and she's hoping that it goes off without a hitch, you know, and her life has just been busy altogether. This whole dating situation, she's not really sure how that's going to fare. She was a wife, she said, for 5 years. I was just like, Now, the jokes write themselves. I mean, I could say a lot about that. I mean, she was technically a wife, but really them whole 5 years, she wasn't really actively a wife. I mean, she probably was at the beginning, but y'all knew that shit with her and Mark fell apart so quick. She's been in a divorce longer than she's really, she was actively married. So 5 years wife is a stretch. But I mean, I guess I see what she's saying. So she's saying like she don't really know what's going to happen with this Roy guy. He travels a lot, he's building businesses and he's busy. And so she was just like, it's hard to be in a relationship. I'm sure she would know that, considering Mark never wanted to move from New York. So they were going back and forth between New York and Atlanta, and that didn't work. So her in this relationship with this guy Roy, when she was just telling us a couple of episodes, I mean, we only on episode 5, y'all. She just told us 2 episodes ago how he's such a good guy and he's a catch and she's really feeling it, and 2 episodes later now she don't know. She says that she's awkward even on dating, when she's out dating with the guy. I mean, well, I will say that when I saw her in them videos of Candy's birthday, she looked like she was having the fucking time of her life. And I know that guy was there. So I was just like, oh, well, I mean, I guess you got through that awkward stage, didn't you? So she's talking to her friend. I didn't get the friend's name, but it's not important. Her friend is her Zen friend, okay? And Kenya needs that. Kenya needs that person in her life, because it'd be so much shit going on, especially with these girls. Like Marlo, for instance. Her and Marlo have tried to work it out, but it's just obvious that they're like oil and water. They are not ever going to be friends. She didn't like the fact that Marlo and shit was banging on her damn door when they was down in Alabama. Brooklyn was in there. Brooklyn woke up like, Mommy, I'm scared. What is that? And in the conversation, she brings up the fact that Marlo had slashed the girl's face, was in jail for 6 months and all that. So Kenya says that she tries to be cordial with Marlo. She tries, but it's just never successful, because you just can't be cordial to Marlo. And Marlo is always coming for Kenya. So there's that. Jumping over to Sheree, nothing to see here. I mean, the baby is adorable. It was cool to see Sheree just chilling with her family. She's there with her girls, and her son comes over with his girlfriend and their new baby. Cairo is the one that has the new baby, so she's a glamour, okay? I'm sorry, no, she said she's a Gigi. She's a glamorous grandmother. So the baby is supposed to be calling her Gigi whenever the baby is able to talk. But anyway, they come over, and Sheree's just proud of Cairo, because he had told her when the girl was pregnant that he wasn't really ready, but he was going to do the best he can. And Sheree is just looking at him and admiring the fact that he stepped up so well. I mean, no man in Sheree's life helped her with her kids. So she was just like, it's nice to see that Cairo got whatever paternal instincts, I should say, whatever paternal instincts that he got, maybe he got them from Sheree. Okay, so she's kind of little emotional and all. They do look like they're doing like a hand cast, like a imprint of the baby's hand. You know how you can stick it in the dough or whatever and hold, and it dries up, and then you paint it or whatever. So I think that's what they were doing for the baby. But yeah, very adorable girl, and Cairo is doing well with the baby. He seems to be happy with his girlfriend. Gigi is happy that she has her grandbaby. Then next we have Drew and Ralph. I'm trying to figure out, when are we going to find out about Drew and Ralph having problems? Did they hide that from the whole show, the cast, the whole time of the season? Because remember how suddenly they decided that they were getting a divorce, and at least up until now, episode 5, we still ain't really seen no problems in the Ralph and Drew household. So I'm just like, but it also feels like they're just kind of, because we know that they're headed for a divorce, it feels like they putting on for the camera. Babe, oh babe this, and babe and honey, and babe, and probably can't stand each other's fucking guts. Anyway, you guys, they at the house, Ralph is outside there's a coach there for one of their kids. Drew says that she likes to make sure whatever the kids' passions are, whatever they want, she's making sure that they do it. So I guess this kid loves basketball, so they have a basketball coach that is there. I'm sorry, you guys, it's so fucking hot. I gotta turn the air up. Hold on one second. I'm sorry you guys are hearing the air conditioning, but it's too hot. So the air has to be on, you guys. Anyway, they're outside and the man is helping them. Drew is telling Ralph that he needs to take it easy because she was sick and his nose is running, and he's probably going to get sick as well, because every time she gets sick, then Ralph turns around and gets sick as well. So slow your roll, try to take care of yourself. Ralph says that he's fine. Anyway, she's talking to Ralph about their cousin Courtney. Courtney has invited her to this team building thing that she's having, and she's invited all the girls, and Drew is not really sure she wants to go because she's not sure she wants to be around Marlo. They start talking about Drew being from Chicago, and she don't use the word shot, because when you say the word shot and you from Chicago, it's like you're almost glorifying all of the violence and the things that have happened at Chicago. So apparently in Chicago, they don't say the word shot. I'm going to need my my Chicago connect, Ashley. I am going to need you to explain this phenomenon to us, because I wasn't aware. I mean, I do know that there's gun violence quite a bit in Chicago. You don't hear much about it as much as you used to. I don't know if that means that it's calmed down quite a bit, or if they just have decided not to talk about it as much. But I'm gonna need Ashley, the resident professional, to let us know why we don't say shot. Or, well, Drew has let us know. Just let us know if we really don't say the word S-H-O-T out there. That's all. We just need clarification. So she says that Marlo felt like she was going sensitive on Candy because she didn't say the word. So Ralph was just like, so she's mad at you because you didn't say the word shot, and Marlo feels like you're letting Candy slide? And she was like, yes. Doesn't that sound silly? She says that now she realizes that when Kenya has been trying to explain to her, dumbass, over and over again, how Marlo is the devil, maybe she should have listened. But you know what? She ain't scared of Marlo. Oh no, she said she's from Chicago. Okay. I wish I had $1 for all the times that she said that she was from Chicago in this episode. But she said, yeah, she's from Chicago, and baby, she can fight. Ralph was like, Marlo will stomp a hole in your ass. That girl is big. And she was just like, you ain't never seen me. I'm from Chicago. I said, Drew. She's so annoying. Now, next we see Candy and Todd. Todd is hard at work at this movie. I swear I hope this movie comes out, because Todd has talked about it. If anything, Todd has used this show for publicity for this damn The Pass. Okay? I mean, I know the name of the movie and everything. So, I mean, I guess he's doing what he wanted to do, right? This is working for him. Anyway, Candy says that, everything has been for me. So now it's time for me to give Todd some of my attention, to this project. So anyway, they're sitting there talking, and she tells him how Courtney, one of the girls that I don't really mess with, has invited me to this event. She figures she probably will. All the rest of the girls are supposed to be going, but she ain't really feeling it. So she tells Todd that they're supposed to be going to this escape room type place, and something about some paint spraying out, if they don't get out in time. So she needs to put on something. She needs to be able to wear something that she doesn't care about it getting messed up, making sure she covers her hair and all. So while she's talking to Todd, she calls Kenya on FaceTime, and Kenya's all excited. She's with Brooklyn and some other kids. Apparently she's having a party. It looked like maybe a pool party with the kids. And Kenya's just like, oh, do you see Blaze and Ace? I sent them. I hate that I couldn't come, but apparently she sent them with a nanny or somebody. So they're having fun there doing that. But Candy wants to know if she's going to Courtney's thing. Well, Kenya said that her name wasn't on the chat. So hell, if her name ain't really on the chat, she ain't really got to go. I mean, is she really invited? I guess they got Candy and Kenya. Did they get verbal invitations? So, she's telling her how it's supposed to be the escape room and all the paint and all that. And, Kenya was like, no, ain't nobody told me all that. Yeah, it's going to be all that. So whatever you wear, Kenya was like, I'm going to make sure, that this beautiful, long, cascading, thick hair that I have in mine is put up. And Candy was like, in her wig too. And they'll go from there. But I guess they're both planning to go to Courtney's event. So then Kenya starts telling her about the argument that Drew and Marlo had. Well, what Drew told Kenya. And it was all about the nephew being killed at the restaurant and how Candy didn't do anything and she felt like she didn't care. Candy was like, yeah, I knew about it, but I didn't really know him like that. And him being shot had nothing to do with my restaurant, you know? So she don't even understand why Marlo is trying to link the two. Candy is over Marlo. She was just like, you know, she is just a mess. Like, over these last couple of years, there's been times when Marlo was laughing with me, kikiing with me, and all this. Now, never once during those times did anything come up. Well, Marlo said that she didn't realize that she was still upset about this, remember? Candy was just like, oh, lying ass bitch. She said that shit clearly. So she gets off the phone with Kenya. She's still upset. And Todd was just like, babe, you already know what it is. Like, oh, isn't that what he's supposed to have said that upset Tamar? But that's just Todd's demeanor. Just like, it's not even, don't even give them their energy. She just wants attention. Don't even go there. Now, let's jump on over to Courtney's event. So they are going to all meet. All the girls are going to meet at, I think, what was the name of the place? The Bomb Room or something like that. Oh, I don't remember. But anyway, Courtney is there. She meets Drew there first. And Drew was just like, oh, I really appreciate you doing this. And, you know, Courtney, we have to learn how to work together. So what other place is as good as this? Teamwork, a little competition. Marlo gets there and she's just like, hey, Drew. And, you know, Drew just kind of nods her head. So Drew, I guess, is calling herself keeping her distance. Now, the rest of the ladies start to trickle in slowly. Sheree is there. Kenya and Manetta and everybody is there, okay? Candy brings in the rear. And as soon as Candy comes in there, Drew was like, honey, you could have cut through that air with a knife. The tension got real thick. It was like a serious energy shift as soon as Candy came in there. And Candy just kept it 100 with Marlo. She was just like, well, Marlo, can I talk to you? Because I ain't going to be able to concentrate with all this until I get off what I had to say. And Marlo was just like, sure, let's go outside and talk. They don't really go outside. They just go away from the rest of the girls, get a little privacy. So as soon as they get away from the girls, you know, Candy is just like, so what is this, you know, that you was talking about? Your cousin getting killed. I was supposed to send flowers or something. And Marlo was just like, no, it was my nephew. But what Marlo is trying to explain to her is everybody minces their words when it comes to Candy. And she doesn't like that. Is Marlo slashed somebody's face? Oh, Marlo stabbed somebody. Oh, Marlo's a felon. Marlo went to jail. Marlo is a whore. They use the hard words for Marlo, okay? They don't sugarcoat nothing for Marlo. But this goes back to what I was telling you guys at the beginning. When you are not a likable person, when you have made yourself to be the enemy, then people are not going to mince the words for you. People are not going to give you some grace. They are going to stick it to you as many times as they can. So she was telling her how, you know, she yelled at Drew, you know, my nephew is dead, you know, because Drew was over talking her and wouldn't let her get a word in. So she just yelled that at her. And, you know, she was just like, my nephew used to work at OLG, you know, he got shot. And Candy was just like, wait a minute, wait. Because your words, you are mixing all this shit up. Your nephew got shot has nothing to do with OLG. He didn't get shot at OLG. Marlo tried to say that he met somebody at OLG and that person shot him. Well, we don't even know that for a fact, okay? But that still doesn't matter. That doesn't have anything to do with Candy. So Candy was just like, how am I the bad guy? Because your nephew got shot by somebody that he met possibly at my restaurant. It has nothing to do with Candy. Like, why are you trying to link the two? Okay? Because the way Marlo was making it seem, the boy got shot on the premises there. And he didn't. So, they're over there. They getting loud. It's getting more and more loud. And Manetta is sitting with the rest of the group. And Manetta is just like, oh my God, I can't take it. Like, she want to go over there. She want to do something. And then everybody was just like, girl, they fine. Leave them alone. You ain't got to do nothing. But, you know, Manetta's like, this kind of shit get her nerves bad. So, you know, Sherea's just like, oh my God, Manetta is having a fit over here because, You know, Kandi is over there arguing with Marlo. You ain't got to worry about Kandi. Kandi knows how to handle herself or anybody else that's coming in her face. So Kandi was just like, what you're not going to do is attach me to this. If you had a problem with what I was doing, you needed to have said something about it at the time. Don't wait all this time. We've been around each other and you never had said anything about any of this. Now all of a sudden, you're not linking this shooting to my restaurant, to me, to nothing. I had nothing to do with any of that. So, you know, Marlo is just like, your character is awful. You should have been doing this. You shouldn't have been. I just can't stand when people tell other folks what they should be doing. Okay. But you should have did this. You should have did that. Okay. So it then got loud. And finally the girls was just like, okay, we need to calm this down, because you know how Kandi is. Once she gets past a certain point, ain't no bringing that shit back down. Todd not there to calm her down. Okay. So the girls go over there and they're trying to break them up. And, you know, Marlo is teasing her, like, and Kandi is starting to get upset. And so, you know what happens when Kandi gets upset? The breakup comes. And Marlo was just like, oh, look at her. The cry, baby, cry. Don't cry now. Oh, she's a horrible person. She has terrible character. And Kandi was just like, the only reason why I'm crying is because I can't fucking choke your ass. Okay, Kandi wanted to beat Marlo's ass. The girls was pulling Kandi back. And Kandi told Manetta, you better get off of me. Do not hold me back. You know, they was like, we just trying to separate the two of you. You know, Kenya got Kandi over there, and Kandi was like, do not, if she come up to me, don't you hold me back. Like, don't nobody here hold me back. I love the fact that when the producers asked Kandi, did she feel threatened, she said no. Okay. Because people love to fall back on that. You know, the whole Marlo's being so aggressive. Yeah, Marlo was being aggressive, but they're arguing. So aggression usually comes out. Kandi was being aggressive. So was Marlo. Yeah, they both was, but Kandi's aggression was a reaction to Marlo tripping. Okay. But yeah, they both was aggressive. So they can both get that title. So you guys know how Marlo is. Marlo operates Marlo's MO is to overtalk and to just cause a lot of confusion. Marlo doesn't let people express themselves. She talks over people, and she just keeps a lot of shit going. So the whole time anybody is trying to talk any kind of reason to Marlo, it's not really happening because Marlo is over talking them. But she's still saying Kandi is awful. Her character is terrible. You know, everybody is all just so afraid of Kandi. Can't say nothing bad about Kandi. You know, she's going on and on. Kandi is outside with Drew, Kenya, and Manetta. So Courtney comes out there because Courtney, I mean, she of course didn't know that all this was going to happen. So she goes out there and she sees how upset Kandi is, and she actually apologizes to Kandi. Like, I didn't, you know, I'm sorry, I didn't know all this was going to go on. And Kandi was like, I mean, I guess thank you. But Kandi is about to leave. She's over this shit. Kandi's leaving. Kenya's leaving. Okay, Drew is leaving. All right, so half of the damn Housewives is leaving. But Courtney is just like, well, fuck, she got to make... You got lemons, you make lemonade. So she goes back in there. She tells the girls that the rest of them girls left, you know, and now we've got Sheree, who had the nerve. Who's that walking? Sheree had the nerve to call Drew Kandi and Kenya's lapdog. I'm sorry, not Sheree, Sonya. Sonya had the nerve to call Drew Kandi and Kenya's lapdog, and I was just like, pot me kettle? Because are you a little bit of Marlo's and Sheree's lapdog, Sonya? Sonya and Drew both play like a similar role on the show. We ain't still even really, I mean, they housewives and shit, but they aren't still like established housewives yet, you know? So we still kind of look at them like, we can take them or leave them. Inside, Marlo is still going on and on, talking about how she's hurts and she's human, and you know, people aren't fair to her and all that. And I just was like, I just really can't with Marlo anymore. I just really can't. Courtney tells the man it's just 4 people left. Are they able to still do the room? And he says, absolutely. You know, so it's Courtney, Sheree, Marlo and Sonia, and they go in there in the room, and of course they don't win. They don't get out in time. They get sprayed by the paint. We get to see all that. But Kenya, Candy, Drew, deuces. They out of there. All right, you guys, that is it. Let me get on off of here. I'll get this edited up to you. Make sure that you thumbs up the video, comment, subscribe to the channel. I'm itsrox. The channel is itsrox. Everything else I do will be in the bottom bar. All right. So I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and I plan on doing the same. Until next time, rock stars. Bye.